Okay, guys, never ever do a table tennis advert when it's raining outside. You think it's a great idea to go do it. You chuck it on YouTube Shorts. Then the next 2 weeks are blistering heat and sweat coming off of every pore. Anyway, we did it. We played 2 weeks of very sweaty table tennis. It's Mark, the table tennis player coach, enthusiast, whatever you want to call me, back for a little video. I'm going to speak on two topics, one really good bit of news and one really bad bit of news. We'll focus on the bad first because I'm a pessimist, in case you hadn't tell. But yeah, we'll focus on the bad, then we go to the good, then we'll do on a few little updates as to what's been going on in the club. So the bad bit of news I had, which I think is commonplace up and down the country, please do, if you're watching from further afield in West Country, tell me I'm wrong, as I hope I am. But I fear that it's up and down the country and in the UK here, is that I had I had an email from this chap. I won't name the chap or the sort of people or club in question, but he came to me and said, look, I've come down to your club a few times before. For whatever reason, he couldn't get back down for a little while, so it's been about a year and a half. But he's been exploring other clubs in his more immediate local area down here in the southwest. So I've narrowed it down a little bit. But he said that he went along to a club, a new club. He thought, right, I'll give it a go again. It's been a little while since, whatever happened, he wants to get back to the table. And he's asked to do a trial. And the club in question would only take league standard players. It was close to his local area, almost like walking distance to his area, but he did the trial and he was not successful. So that meant that chap that wanted to play table tennis, get back to a table, pick up a bat, enjoy the game that we all love, everyone loves it, right? And he can't play at his local club in walking distance. Now, for me, that's such a sad story. So now he's got to travel a good sort of 20 minutes, half an hour or so by the car. It doesn't sound like much, but if you're working or you've got other bits and pieces on, maybe you don't want to hop in the car and do a 20-minute, half an hour journey to get to a table tennis club to play your social table tennis. I just thought that was a real shame. Obviously, the West Country has its own, sort of problems, I guess, because we are out in the sticks a little bit, and I guess leagues and communities are dying in terms of the table tennis community. But that's what makes it even more sad that there's clubs out there turning away players that want to play. I don't know about your thoughts on that. Put them in the comments if you've ever been subject to that in your local area, sort of having to only be of a league standard to come and play table tennis, a sport that should be accessible to everyone. But yeah, really sad news. I won't name names, but it's just, it bores my blood a little bit. That's why we created Keynsham Table Tennis Club, so that absolutely everybody come and play. But yeah, really sad story. But then, flip that on its head, the positive story happened to me personally. So I went back down to St. George for a little knock when it was exceedingly hot on the weekend last Saturday. And met up with a few of the boys there that I hadn't seen in a little while. I used to play for their team in Division 3, took a year's break this year. Don't tell Leo, but I'm thinking of possibly signing on again this year to play a few more games and enjoy it. As I've missed playing Bristol. It's a different sort of division, different standard, different kettle of fish really to what we are in Bath. But anyway, I was playing along. Then played, I can name him actually. I played Steve Hooper. And we were just knocking around playing. Then he said, try this bat. So I started trying this bat. Then he let me try his bat as well. There were all these different rubbers. And we were talking about rubbers and how I had I think it's called Raison 7, something like this. My pronunciation's terrible. But anyway, I had the ordinary number 7 on my back. And I said, look, I'm getting on really well. This is a really nice rubber. And he said, well, try this one. He had a bat with the red side and it had I'm going to call it Raison 7 again, but it was the hard edition, and so it made the ball do slightly different things, and it played really well. On the other side, I forget wherever it was on the other side, but yeah, tried a couple of his bats, and I said at the end of it, I said, look, Steve, do you mind if I quickly go grab a pen or just take a quick snap and make a note of the blade and the rubbers? And to my absolute shock, and I'm still humbled by it now, he said, well, no, you can keep that. You used to be a player here. I think you're getting on with it better than I am. Just keep it and keep enjoying the game. So that's two really contrasting news stories. As I say, news stories, a little bit of information from down here in the southwest, of just showing the extremity of turning someone away from a club and forcing them out of their local area to go play further afield, versus the kindness of enthusiasts and players who really want to encourage everyone to play the game. So Steve, you're watching again for I think about a third or fourth time. Thank you very much for the bat. I played with it tonight and it was really good. But yeah, really positive from the lockdown at St George. So I mean, if you are in the Bristol area and you want to get into league table tennis for Bristol, then please do check out St George. Shout out to my friends down in Wick as well. But the job they're doing down there is fantastic. They've got really good rental agreement with the hall, plenty of times to practice, especially right now in the summer. I think they play tonight as well on a Thursday. Not too keen on that one, Leo. But anyway, so then coming back to just general updates of about me. And the little world of table tennis here in Keynsham. So we had our session tonight. It was a little bit slow attendance. I think in the end we had 12 of us in the room, so it wasn't too bad in the end. It certainly covers the rent, which is a big tick. We had 2 new players in the room. So we had Vic and Moses, both of them very, very good players. Another couple of Hong Kong lads, teenagers this time. And they knew from the club through Esther and Dorothy, which was really nice to see word of mouth getting around in the community. And they had a chance, they go to the same church down in Broadmead Shopping Centre. They played table tennis there after the service. So it's really cool to find that out. I had no idea. I might have to become a churchgoer and go and check that out, because that building, if you've never been, is fantastic. When you go inside, it looks very unassuming from the outside, but inside it really is a very nice place of worship. Not to get too political, but anyway. They came along for the first time. Vic, his second time, I think it was. He came once before, but both of them very, very keen players, very, very good. Both pushed me to my limits. So I was particularly impressed. Then Lionel returned from a bit of illness, as did Pedro. Or Lionel had holiday, I think, anyway. But they both returned for the first time in ages. We had Martin, who used to come to our Friday sessions, came along. And again, just going back to that story at the beginning, Martin was particularly nervous about coming tonight because he'd come to our improvement sessions on a Friday and hadn't played for a good few months now. He's still a member of the club. His membership's valid for 12 months. But it had been a good, sort of 4 or 5 months, actually, since he'd last played. But he played exceedingly, I thought he played really, really well. Really, really good knockabouts to everyone. I'm glad to see you down there, Martin. Hopefully you'll come again. And then, we also had Rich brought his friend along as well, Sally, who we ended up finally convincing to have a game at the end. Had a good little knockabout with Martin, actually. So that was cool. Jeff came along as well. Jeff, thank you for paying in advance for a week as well. It makes it a lot easier on the account side of things there. So and it's good to see you having a knockabout with Kevin, who came along for the first time in ages, and young Roshan, who's here every week. I think he'd be here every day if he could. It was just a really cool session tonight. Then we had obviously Alex, Mighty Supreme, that I call him, Joe as well, and a few others in the room too. So it was a really, really good session tonight. I did have a video ready to go from last week, so I actually played young Josh in the room. We even had a little game being filmed, but I actually set my camera right where it was now and pointed it that way. But the footage didn't quite come out right. I need to kind of shrink it down because there's a big corner of this kitchen sort of wall thing behind me, but pointing that way. So I need to kind of brutally edit that, and try and show you guys that eventually. And again, one of the comments that I've had to try and improve the club was to provide drinks on the night. So tonight we provided some 7-Up and Apple Tango. Got any requests? Put them in for next week, but we'll do the same again there, especially when this weather's hot. That's free of charge as well, so come on down and help yourself to a can, but please do play as well. The other suggested improvement was try and get footage in this video, but me being of a certain age, in his late 30s, still clinging on to the 30s, guys, I need to learn how to use CapCut and need to learn how to plan my B-roll properly so I can cut it in. So this week is just me talking to you guys, so apologies for that, but next time it may be a bit more interactive. But anyway, whatever you're doing this weekend, stay cool, stay safe, enjoy the outside, don't get sunburned, and I'll see you next time. But make sure you get to the table, pick a bite and play. Cheers, bye-bye.